So we're camping at Black Horse Gap tonight, and down the road here is quite a view. We're gonna walk down there and check that out, but there's no shelter real close here, and we wanted to get some miles in. We stopped about 7/10 of a mile short of where we hoped to be, but because of the rain and so on, we decided we're gonna go ahead and pitch while it's not raining. So we're just up off the road here. We found a little site. Some good friends of ours are pitched on over down here, and we've got a place to hang our bear bags, so I think we're good for the night. And it looks like we have a pretty nice place, relatively flat, which is always a big deal for us. So I think we've got a good place here, and we're going to be settled in for the evening. When we began our journey back in February on the 21st, everything was brown. And we saw awesome views, and we thought the beauty was just something to behold, but this is what we look at all day long. And we never get tired of seeing the flowers and all of the beauty. So much to see. We are at the Peaks of Otter Overlook, and this is one side of the road, the parkway, and this is the other side. It almost looks like, this reminds me of when we were in Guatemala looking at volcanoes or something. It is so beautiful. Just a glorious view.
Sharp Top Mountain.
So that peak up there is Sharp Top Mountain. Walking along the parkway here, came to this stone retaining wall. It was laid up. Quite magnificent work, and makes for a nice cool spot. Pretty refreshing right here. Well, good morning. It's May 4th. We are near the Montvale Pass, and I thought I'd just share the view that we have this morning. It is absolutely beautiful. We woke this morning to a whippoorwill about 4:30. It was still dark, pretty loud, but that bird was just carrying on. Sometimes our campsites are just kind of, well, they look like they're in the middle of the woods. And I've been warned about bear activity, so I've been more diligent about my bear hang. And I'm pretty proud of the fact that I got a hang that's pretty high. Most people just get them 8-10 feet off the ground, but this one's a lot higher than that. So there's my branch, there's my bag, and there's the ground. That bear's gonna have to want it pretty bad. But I'd show you a little critter here. A couple critters. You see these things all day long. Some pretty major critters here. These things are so big, when you step on them or somebody steps on them in the trail, they leave a gut pile. Headed down off of the mountain. Looks like a bear could live down in there. Maybe Sherry should crawl down in there and see if there's anything in there. Now this is a little steep. People who do the work here to maintain these trails have really done some amazing feats with these rocks. Don't know how this is all possible, but they sure do a good job. Anything living in there? Snakes? No.
No, let's just keep moving.
And we are still on the Appalachian Trail. Continually changing and offering views. We're about 4,000 feet or a little over now. And interesting how the trees, because of the altitude and the maybe the harsher winds and things like that, and the rock, there's a lot of rock up here. So the terrain has changed, rock formations. We still have a lot of the trilliums here. They're just beautiful. But the trail is a little softer now. When I say softer, I just mean it's not as jagged. And now that we're pretty much at the top, I'm sure there'll be a little climbing, but we're at the top. And then when we get to the top, typically what that means is now we go down. So we've spent the last while hiking up and making our lungs and our legs burn a little bit. But yeah, Sherry just mentioned this is the highest that we have been as far as altitude for a while, a little over 4,000 feet. So it's cooler, and if you notice the trees, they still haven't budded out yet. So there's a little bit of a time delay for the trees to green up as we get in higher altitude. So I think we're gonna go another 1.5 to 2 miles to a shelter, and we'll see if we're gonna stay there or go on. We've been told that they had a bear sighting last couple days there, and there is a bear box to store the food in. We'll see how we feel when we get there, or if we want to go on a few more miles.
The privy is full.
Yeah, the privy is full. So we were forewarned. The privy is full. What that means is that it's up to the top. And so when you lift up the lid, it's right there. But I don't know if you can see very good the mountain in the distance there. I'm sure that's one that eventually we'll get to climb. The views are a little limited today because it's overcast and we're supposed to be getting rain through the night or early morning, and then it looks like the next couple days are going to be rain, so we'll see what the weather brings. Love to see all the trilliums blooming. Now the grass is growing up alongside the trail. We are coming up on Black Rock Overlook. It's about 200 feet off the trail, and I think we're going to have lunch here because it seems like, yes, seems like a beautiful place to have lunch. All the green, and we notice that still up at the tops, there's still a lot more brown. The leaves are a little behind, but down below, they're really full. And there are some really huge rocks here. I think we're gonna find a place to eat lunch. This is our lunch spot out here in Black Rock. And it is just beautiful. So thankful for such a nice spot and such a nice day at the moment. And it is down pretty far here. There's a nice big rock up here behind us too. And the bugs. Oh my goodness, the bugs are out in full force. But that's all part of it. Well, today is Thursday, May 5th, and Mother's Day is coming right up on us, and the trail has changed so much green and so many flowers, and the one thing that I keep looking at from the very beginning, I thought it was a different kind of plant, but this stuff here, and it's some type of a ground cover, but it's an evergreen, and it reminds me of something like a Virginia creeper because the vines cover the ground or they go across the top of the ground. And I don't know what that's called. If somebody knows, they can put it in the comments. We have seen a number of things that we're unfamiliar with, and a lot of flowers we are familiar with, but it has a different feel when everything is green instead of brown like it was when we started out. Now, as I stated early on, that the beauty of having brown is that without the leaf foliage, you can see and you have views almost all the time. And now, due to the leaves, because of the cover, we don't see as much. But the top, or the benefit, the upside to that is that the flowers and the different trees that we see and everything is so beautiful, and the fragrance from the flowers is just incredible. We have found a tree, and I'll probably put one of those photos on for you. A tree that is so fragrant, we often smell it before we even see the petals that are on the ground. I'm going to show you something here that is a common sight. When we see a leaf, often a rhododendron leaf like that, people place those there so that they can collect water. That's a very common way that people can kind of get the water funneled to a central spot and then put their dirty water bag or container under there. So we see that and we use those ourselves quite often. We're hoping that as we go along, we see some venomous snakes and a bear. What do you think about venomous snakes, Sherry?
I don't want the snakes, but I would love to see a bear.
Yes, so we just spoke with some hikers that said the shelter coming up in 5 miles, they've had a bear sighting there the last several nights. So we were going to go on another 3 miles, but if there's a bear in the area, we may camp there tonight. There's also a bear box for your food, so we may spend the night there in hopes of seeing a bear. Friday, May 6th. We are headed up the trail and on our way to Glasgow, Virginia. And again, hiking up a pretty steep climb with rain. But thanks the Lord for a beautiful trail and workers to maintain the trail.